Taliya.
Hi, I'm Matthew, and we are
the critics.
So the film that we're doing this week is Revenant, which came out a few weeks ago for South Africa, so it had all the build-up, had all the hype, we knew about the 12 Oscars, and both Taliya and I are not big fans.
Sadly.
Yeah, we feel like we are very much going against the rest and the general tide and general perception, and but that's what we think. We're just not the biggest fans, for a host of reasons, but we'll get into those. The first of which for me is that when I watched it and when I walked out, I felt like, the first impression I had was I felt like I had watched the larger scale production of I Shouldn't Be Alive Ever, and then, so let's talk about that. I think we know it's about
survival.
Well, we know it's about revenge, supposedly.
Yeah.
So we know all the surviving parts. Leo has to survive.
Yeah.
So there's never any real threat.
Never. He survives everything. He's like a superhero.
But the worst part is you know he has to survive everything.
So why are they putting us through this?
So much time spent on Leo just having Star Wars scenes and cutting open animals.
He cut a horse open.
Could you have called Tom Tom? So that took forever. Then,
falling off a cliff.
Falling off a cliff, getting chased by Native Americans, which also didn't make sense. Can someone please explain to me, because we're both confused about this, put it in the comments, is why are the Native Americans chasing Leo's character? Because he's not, clearly, at least when he's by himself, the last time he gets chased, he's not with a girl. So clearly he's not harboring the Native American girl they're looking for. But secondly, if they are then hunting him to get information from him, why are they trying to kill him? Because dead people are notoriously bad for giving information.
Not very talkative.
Yeah. No matter how many times you poke them in the arm with a stick, they won't give you the information. So that was very weird. And it didn't develop the character. Yep, this dude is hard, and he's out there to get this guy back. And we got that early on. You don't have to do much more than kill a man's child for the audience to be like, right, kill him. Let's get revenge.
Let's not sit for 2.5 hours. And I mean, I've seen Bollywood films that move through the plot, on that note of not understanding the motivation. Character development, zero. It was just, although we love seeing Leo and Tom Hardy, and you'll get to that point later, it was just, why were they where they were? That's the question. Why
did he hate him so much?
Tom Hardy hate Leo so much? There were maybe 1.5 scenes of confrontations between them. One on the boat, where he says, I don't want to listen to him, we need to do what we need to do.
But it's the captain's decision, it's not...
That's the thing, and the captain was weak as well. The captain didn't make sense. You're supposed to be a leader, but once again, you're letting Tom Hardy look after a guy that he's already said he wants to kill. And then the other altercation they had was where Tom Hardy's character calls Leo's son a dog, and etc. But other than that, there was no other reason.
For him to just become a murderer. Leo's
character also, we weren't given a clear explanation of how he befriended the Native American people and what his motivation was throughout the whole thing. Obviously it was revenge, to kill Tom. But the side stories that they tried to bring in, I don't think it was done.
And then the weird religious side story that was kind of very obscurely done.
Strangely done.
But we'll get to the end now. The second thing that I thought I was watching was just so it's filmed in Canada, right?
Yeah.
So the Canadian Tourism Board did a really good job out of this movie. I really want to go to Canada because I felt like it was a National Geographic episode. There were so many shots of scenery.
Snow and branches. If you ever wanted to say that, this film is not short.
2.5 hours of snow and branches. And I got it at the beginning. I got it when there was huge conflict and then we cut to the peace and tranquility of nature and that juxtaposition. But later on in the film, I really didn't get it. It almost became predictable. You're like, now we're going to get a scenery. And you got it. And it didn't add to the film. It wasted time. I just wanted to see Leo get revenge. And I was being delayed in that, and I was just getting frustrated.
Another reason why I felt it did waste time a lot was my main problem with the film. Incoherent dialogue throughout the whole film. My two favorite quotes from the film. Number one, Number 2, boy. Tom Hardy, what were you saying throughout this entire film?
It was
And
very
you know,
difficult.
it was even worse for me because it seemed as if his character had the most to say. He had the most lines.
He was potentially the most interesting character.
Yes, and he kept giving insight. I don't know, I couldn't understand.
Yeah.
But giving insight into his motivation, his reasons for why he was doing this work and stuff like that. But I never understood what he was saying.
I mean, people complain about Bane in Batman, but Tom Hardy was much less coherent.
In this film.
In this film, yes.
It was just terrible.
Yeah.
I thought it really was a disadvantage because he seemed like he had interesting things to say. But I just couldn't understand
His body language indicated.
I was following it through pictures, literally. And Leo, he hardly had any dialogue, but I mean...
Except groaning.
Except groaning and being in pain.
Yeah. And then the last thing that I thought of was this was a really good episode of Bear Grylls Survival. Because sometimes I felt like I was learning more about how to survive in the wilderness than I was about characters or plot development or anything.
Build a small pond to catch fish.
Yes! I now know how to do this. And how to use gunpowder to clean wounds. It was really informative, but not the movie I paid money to watch.
Definitely, definitely. Well, there were some pros. Do you want to maybe...
Yeah, so obviously Leo's performance is amazing. It's really nice to see Leo not just be a suave, gentlemanly character, and I think he pulled it off incredibly well. I think his nomination is well deserved. Personally, I don't think it's his best. I would prefer to have seen him win for other roles.
Definitely.
So I think if he wins on this, I'll be a bit sad because I think he's done better. But really well done. I think you definitely got his suffering.
Yeah.
You got 2 hours of it, or 1.5 of which was unnecessary because I got it in the first half an hour. Thank you very much.
Falling.
Yeah, but very well portrayed there. And then I think when we finally got to the revenge, that final fight scene was excellent. It really had you in suspense because at that point you didn't know what the outcome was going to be.
Because Leo had said previously, I'm not scared to die anymore.
Yeah.
So you didn't know what was good.
So you weren't sure. That was very good. That was incredibly suspenseful. I was thankfully still awake by the time we got there to be able to enjoy it.
Barely. Emphasis on the bed.
Yeah. And then he just doesn't get the revenge in the end, and he lets some Native Americans scalp the guy. And we move on as if that was a perfectly acceptable ending. Supposedly based on because it's all in God's hands, which was supposedly set up earlier, but we didn't really get that set up because we were moaning and groaning and mumbling and looking at pretty scenery. So, good fight. I didn't get the payoff that I wanted.
I agree. My favorite character was the bear. I think the bear had great development.
Speaking of Bear Grylls.
Speaking of Bear Grylls, amazing dialogue from the bear. We really got his anger. But that scene was very well done in my opinion. Leo's acting in conjunction with the CGI was really good.
Yeah.
You felt like, wow, he's really getting mauled, and there was no music also. So that added to the suspense of that scene. For me, that's the only scene that really stood out, besides the end.
Yeah, no, completely.
In between that was 5 hours of
and I mean, and the opening was also good, but I didn't know whose side I was on because Native American people are oppressed people, so you are automatically like, well, I'm with the small guys. And then when they started beating on the traders and the skinners, then you were like, well, maybe I should be supporting of them. And the only reason really was because you were like, well, Leo's in it, so obviously these are the guys I have to be supporting. But it was a good scene. It was well shot.
The pace of it was nice.
The pace was
slow
good,
and
but I didn't get who I was inherently.
Which was a running theme throughout the whole movie.
Yeah. didn't really. It set up a conflict that we were never sure why there was a particular conflict. Because it didn't appear like that group of guys had even stolen the Native American's daughter.
You know what? I can't even.
The can't comment. What actually happened during this movie.
What happened? Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's an important story to tell because the Americans did abuse the Native Americans.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was hard to sift through the branches on the snow.
Okay.
Okay. So how many thumbs?
I'm begrudgingly giving 1.
1 from me also.
We can't do 3/4, otherwise I'll do 3/4, but 1.
Leo, we love you, but man, this was painful.
It was.
Physically, emotionally, visually. Well, visually it wasn't that bad.
Visually
but
it was very pretty.
Okay, that was it. Thank you guys for watching. If you like our video, please subscribe to our channel, and you can click the links to our Twitter and Facebook in the description box below. Check out what we're doing in the coming weeks over there. I'm Taliya.
I'm Matthew.
And this has been the critics' review of The Revenant.